All right from the get-go, we got a weak transmission. Weak network. Wonder if it's that solar flare. We got solar flare problems, maybe. Oh, there we go. Everything's good now, except I'm in this like wide panoramic vision. One of these days I'll figure this stuff out, folks. Hey, Docs and Grandma, how are you? I'm fumbling around with the phone today. Hi, Suncast, how you feeling? I hope you're doing better. I'm doing a little better, too. Got a good night's rest last night. And I'm dosing on the Amish remedies. They work out every time. So, Patriots, today is November 30th. And it's day 1058. Does it ever end? Does it ever end? And it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Hey, Jane Febo. Hey, Deb. Bye. All right. We got the watermark. Get it in there. There we go with that one today. How's that? Getting ready to go eat. All right, Tammy Mundy, how are you? Hello, Deb for Freedom. Bird, man. I don't know what's up with the speakers down there at Freedom Corner, but I could not hear anything last night on the phone calls or with Mickey speaking. So I don't know if that speaker's blown out or what, man. But I hope we got to get the message out, man. That's the one reason that we are doing a vigil. That's why they're doing a vigil at the corner every night, to get the message out. And we got some good messages coming from Taylor Jonatakis, and he was one of the phone calls last night. Yeah, man, I could not even get the names of who called last night. It was horrendous. But other than that, they had another vigil, another night in a row. Way to go, Freedom Patriots. Freedom Corner Patriots on the ground, boots on the ground, man. They got a new canopy there, got hassled by the cops for whatever reason. They hassle you for the canopy there. I guess they had a canopy up, and it looked like a new one, so somebody stepped up and got them a canopy down there. Hallelujah. And it had the walls on it. And when David started his stream, he came down and it was right there front and center. Had the walls on the tent set up. And then I guess midway through the night, the police came up and said, you got to take the walls off of the tent. Whatever. If it ain't one thing, it's another down there with DC, man. Take the stuff off the wall, you know, the cemetery wall police show up, and then they're enforcing that. The cops are enforcing that. We had to take the fake candles off of the top of the wall. And, yeah, it's just crazy. All right, I got to get my other glasses. Sorry. And I'm still adapting with the daylight, and I tried messing around with the camera to get I've been trying all kinds of stuff here, folks. I hope it's getting better, because I don't feel like it's getting better. And I've been dealing with a little bit of a sickness, and I think I got over the hump with that in the last night, and there is some kind of crud going around, man. A couple other people that I know just aren't feeling good. It's kind of a weird one, man. I had like sizzling lungs, and it was something that would interrupt your sleep at night. I never had a flu that interrupted your sleep. So if anyone's getting the same type of a illness, that's the symptoms that we're having out here. It's pretty weird. But got a good night's rest last night. I feel like I'm over the hump. My lungs are feeling better right now. And even though I can't report much on what happened at Freedom Corner because I couldn't hear the phone calls. There was some other interesting things about Freedom Corner last night. And one was, as soon as I jumped into Stormtroopers chat, what do I see there but a comment by 00 Jericho? And it wasn't me. So there's a fake 00 Jericho account out there. And the comment was, "Hey, Trooper, why don't you and David stay over at Mickey and Nicole's house for a month?" And I just left the comment in there like, "Hey, man, I didn't say that's not me," and whatever. Then I go over into another live stream, and I checked them all last night. I was checking Rebecca's on We the People MAGA, for Ashley J6 Vigils, Freedom Express, Glory B. And it seemed like there was a new troll in every chat there last night. So then I'm in another chat on, I think, for Ashley J6 Vigils, and there's a dude named Steven Strong One in there. And he's asking the same question. "Hey, why doesn't Trooper and David go stay at Mickey and Nicole's house for a month over the winter?" And so, all right, so we've been dealing with this for a long time. It all kind of started at the lawn when we were in 1776 movement. You get these trolls in the chat. In case you don't know what trolls are, these are people who just post things in the chat to either deflect you from what's really going on in the video, to keep you from paying attention to what's going on at the vigil, or they're in there to stir up trouble for somebody. And we've been dealing with this for a long time, and it gets a little touchy sometimes with some of the people who I don't think know what's going on with the trolls, because it sounds like we're being kind of rude to people who may or may not be new to the channel. And it takes a while till you understand how they operate. And how they operate is, if somebody new comes into a chat, we all know each other in the chats, and usually we say hi, and then we don't ask like real personal questions because it's a freaking YouTube channel. You can't just go putting out your phone number and you can't go, telling people where you're going to be after the vigil, because otherwise that can cause trouble. People will show up where, if I said, "Hey, we're all going to go out to Denny's after the vigil," and then we all go out to Denny's after the vigil, there could be trouble at the Denny's. There could be somebody's casing our cars or anything. It's happened several times in the past. So if you don't know what's going on, these trolls get in there and they just start asking personal questions before they even like say hi to everybody or like introduce themselves or tell us anything about them. They're just mining for information out of the people that are at Freedom Corner, mostly to cause them trouble and mostly to keep you from hearing what's going on them phone calls and what's going on with the J6 Vigil and the J6ers themselves. So if you don't know that's what's going on, heads up everybody in the chats. We love you all there. We know who we all are. I'm thinking there's like, between all the live streams, there's probably about 300 of us that semi-regularly get in on all these chats. And you guys are like the phone call army. You guys are the letter writing army. You guys are the donation army. You guys are helping out everywhere you can. We know that a lot of y'all can't get there, and that's fine. There's no reason to feel guilty about that. But just participating in the chats, you hit the like, you can share out the videos so that it gets a wider, it's spread out over social media more. That helps a lot. That gets a lot of new people introduced to it. And just kind of tiptoe around new people when you see them coming into the chats and stuff. A lot of them will ask like pointed personal questions. And that's kind of a red flag. It isn't always, because some people just walk into a chat and start asking questions. But, yeah, it was like troll attack. And it seems like it's ramping up lately, man. I did a live stream the other day. Somehow or another, my phone number got out there. And I got 141 phone calls while I was trying to do a live stream. And it definitely interrupts things. So, but authorities have been notified. I think it took care of it. We'll see. Oh yeah, Stephen Strongman was in the Rebecca chat last night. There's another one who I'm not sure of yet called Angry Canadian. I don't know. This person called Angry Canadian comes in and just, they'll nitpick on everything. They'll say, how come the sound is bad? Or how come anything that's wrong, they will amplify it. And Angry Canadian would say, man, America, you got some serious troubles. We only have 3 political prisoners in Canada. Well, fix Canada first there, bud. Fix Canada. Yeah, Angry Canadian. Me and Angry Canadian butt heads, man, for sure. And I just, whatever. If Angry Canadian's there, I'll go somewhere else. But it creates tension in the chats. And we have great mods that take care of this, like on the instant, a lot of times. And that's why we need mods. That's the job that the mods do, in addition to being ready to go and mod when we go live streaming and putting all the information in the as the calls come in about the caller and when they were incarcerated. All that is valuable information that doesn't always get covered every time these people call in, every time a J6er calls in. But man, when the mods are putting in that information, like, Chris Quaglin's from New Jersey, his mom's got cancer, all that is very good information. And that is why the mods are highly respected in our channels. And thank you very much. All mods everywhere. You guys do pretty much a thankless job on keeping a clean house in the chats. And we really, really appreciate that. So last night, Taylor John Takis called in. This is like maybe the 3rd time he's called in now. He's relatively new in the DC gulag. And if Dev for Freedom didn't put a video out, I would have no idea what he said. But I was able to listen to that right before I got on here. Thanks, Dev for Freedom. And it was emotional there for a while. He's a guy, I think he's got like 5 kids or something. We went over that yesterday. But he's a family man. He's, a guy who doesn't have a record. He got swept up in the J6 thing. And, for political prisoners. And is following our Freedom Corner's idea right now. Okay, well, that's cool, KA. What was that? Yeah, right, Ferg. It doesn't have the photo. But even if it gets the photo somehow, and there's probably a way to do that, I have no idea. You'll know by what they're saying. And you got to just kind of use some discernment there with figuring out. Because there's fake Rebeccas out there. There's a gal, Karen, was telling me there was 4 fake Karen accounts. I've seen numerous fake Patriot Family accounts out there. Hi, Cleo. Yeah, the cops made him take the sides off the tent. My goodness, my goodness. Can you believe that? So it's just totally ridiculous with the police there. I don't know. They're keeping us safe, obviously. Nobody's really attacked us there. And that could have happened, I'm sure, if there wasn't 12 cops sitting there every night. But there was a fake Dev for Freedom. And it had your original profile picture. Okay. So that's another thing, if somebody makes a totally mirror image account with yours, then you can just change the photo. We'll let everybody know that we changed the photo. Yeah, we keep us safe. That's right, Angelina. And that's why we got to watch each other's backs out there. And, you know, if something happens in the chat that you know, you see that might be dangerous, man, give somebody a heads up. Because a lot of times the chat has made us aware of trolls that were coming down the road, getting ready to attack us. It happens all the time, and we appreciate that heads up from you guys out there. We're a family. We're taking care of each other. I love it. I love it. So Taylor Jonatakis, 40-year-old man taking care of his family, and he was trying to say, Turbo. Oh man, dude, you are so funny sometimes. I gotta post that one, man. If anyone comes in with my name, comes in without a Speedo, you'll know it's not Turbo. That is golden, dude. Yeah, that's right, Lamont Cherie. You can tell by how they post things, or if they've used emojis or not, or yeah, you can tell. It's like here listening to somebody talk, and their voice sounds different through the chat. So it's something we all got to be heads up with. Some people I think, are a little clueless about it, so I'm trying to explain it a little bit. But it's just something we always got to keep heads up about. And all right, so Taylor Jonatakis was talking about how this punishes families a lot, okay? And it's an issue, man. A lot of the J6ers don't have prior records. A lot of them are decorated military, ex-law enforcement, or they were current law enforcement when it happened and they got arrested. They're getting the book thrown at them. And it destroys families, man. Chris Quaglin's family just it's destroyed, man. He had a wife and a baby when he first got arrested, and his wife left him, and I mean it's horrible what it's doing to the families, and that's the unseen repercussion of crime. You know, that's one reason you don't do crime. But when you don't do crime and you get arrested, and then there's a whole family that they're getting affected too. So somehow this has all got to end soon, man. This has all got to end soon. Dev for Freedom also did a video on Mickey announcing the J6 anniversary coming up this January. They're going to be doing an event there in DC. But Mickey was saying, get something started at your own, in your local area, if you can. If you got a Patriot group, maybe do a presentation to your Patriot group about it. I'm considering seeing if I could get like a group of people here to protest at our courthouse or something, but I got to look into what the rules are about that. There's Dev for Freedom site there, in case you don't have it already. And we just got to continue to try to bring awareness to the fact that there have been 1,200 people prosecuted for J6. They are still prosecuting J6ers. There are still guys in jail who have been in jail over 1,000 days and haven't had a trial yet. And they are maxing out the sentences for everybody that does get convicted, going way overboard on the sentencing. Drifter Shelley, we've tried that. We have tried that. It doesn't. They don't care. They just tell us, well, that's not illegal. That's their First Amendment right. And it seems to only work one way. When we make a complaint, it's invalid. There's nothing they can do. When somebody else makes a complaint on us, like, hey, they got a tent up on a sidewalk there. It only works one way in D.C., man. Maybe in your hometown it works differently, but in D.C., it only works one way, and it's to our detriment. There's just nothing. We've tried that. File a complaint against the police department. How do you do that? To who? The mayor? You can call the mayor. We've called the mayor hundreds of times, and it's just D.C. You know, that's the whole thing. There's a whole different government in D.C. There's no There's no DC star on that flag right there. DC is an entity unto itself. Our Congress is in charge of law enforcement in Washington, D.C., and they have put up the operation with the mayor there and the city councils and everything in the courts that they got there. And that's why it's totally different in D.C. If you got information that we don't, though, Shelley, I'm all ears, man, because this sucks. This really sucks down there. Where you make a complaint to the mayor, and I mean, the mayor's not on our side down there. Yeah, D.C. is not a state. It's just a different entity. Yeah, me too, K.A. They do. They give law enforcement a bad name. But they've kept us safe down there, okay? I gotta hand it to them. There is a couple of cool cops down there, and they're not all jerks. And there are good cops even in D.C., but it's just operates on a whole different realm that I'm used to here in my hometown. Anywhere I've ever lived, it's totally different. I don't get it. And, you know, if our problem is with the police there, I don't understand the logic of going to the police and complaining to them about it. I mean, look what the police did on J6 to us, you know. They lured us in. They allowed attacks to happen. There were J6ers that were trying to help police officers that then got charged for attacking them police officers. And they're not on our side there for sure. Yeah, I saw this today. Clay Higgins, man, he's talking a mean talk. Over 200 FBI agents embedded within the crowd. I'll bet that's what Stephen Sund would have told the J6 Commission also, and that's probably why they didn't invite him in to testify. Very odd that the J6 Commission, the official congressional investigation of January 6th, didn't even call in the head of the D.C., the Capitol Police. And I think it's fallen down. I think the House of Cards has fallen down. More and more information comes out every day that should be opening eyes. I don't know, man. And then we also have trouble with the BOP. You know, they're making trouble for our J6ers. And one thing I did hear last night was Nicole gave a little BOP talk. And she mentioned something that I didn't know here. But there have been 8 directors of the BOP over the last 7 years. Now, how can you run an efficient, well-run bureaucracy? The BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, has had 8 different directors over 7 years. I mean, it takes you a year to settle into a job. How can you just keep switching directors and expect anything to work in a business like that? It doesn't work that way. And we know that. That's why you don't put government in charge of things, because they don't understand that there are normal practices that you should to operate a clean, well-run business, you know? Yeah, I agree with you there, K.A. All in God's time, and he is moving, and we continue to stand. We're not kneeling before the man. We are kneeling before God, and we continue to stand because we can. We continue to stand till they take us out. I mean, they took out 1,200 of us already. They took 100,000 of us out with fentanyl coming over the border. I mean, they are murdering us, and we continue to stand. That's a fact, man. That's a great comment there, K.A. Thank you. And there were also other Bureau of Prison stats, such as the operating budget compared to how many prisoners they're actually in charge of. It's a huge amount. It comes down to $50-something thousand per inmate per year. And that's just the manpower part of it. That doesn't include the food bill. And then there are millions and millions of dollars of unfinished maintenance work that needs to be done to these facilities. And, you know, it's a common thing for a government bureaucracy to fumble things up a little bit so that they can cry they need more money out of us all the time. I've seen this happen a whole bunch of times. And that could be it too. But we the people need accountability for any time our tax money is being spent. And why there isn't a citizens group council that just at least monitors things from the Bureau of Prisons, the CIA, the FBI, any government agency should have some type of a citizens group that monitors and at least has an input as to if there seems to be something fishy going on. Somebody that could require an investigation into something or something. You got political prisoners in Ottawa. Yeah, I mean, Canada has their troubles. And Canada actually was seizing people's bank accounts, weren't they? That's what I understand. In fact, this is everywhere, Ferg. This is Ireland. The same thing's just happening in Ireland now. These people, they've been flooding the countries with these immigrants who will not assimilate to the country that they're moving into, okay? And it's happened in England, in Ireland, here, Canada, and that seems to be their method of operation. They just flood the market with all kinds of stuff. So, Sylvia, do you got the link to that article in Gateway Pundit about David and Stormtrooper? They still can't use their bank accounts. I mean, talk about government tyranny, man. At least we can still use our bank accounts, even though they're crashing the dollar on us. Every dollar we have is worth, 50 cents of what it used to be since FJB got in office? Yeah, there was a car crash at the Cannon building there, I saw. All right, I got a lot of news, though, to talk about. And one of the things was that there was a J6 or a Gateway Pundit article about Stormtrooper and Freedom Express Media there, and about how they're standing for the J6ers, that the people that they're live streaming to help out tons for making life better for the J6ers, the people that we feel are wrongfully incarcerated. And it was an article, a plea for more people to view in on the channels and to help fund them to stay there. It's easy to do this in the summertime, but in the wintertime, man, it gets cold, and we've been camping as we stay out there, but in the wintertime, it just gets really hard to camp. And we could do that if we could find a place to camp, but the campground's shut down. There's stay limits. We're always moving from camp to camp because a lot of the campgrounds in DC have 14-day stay limits. So twice a month, you got to pick everything up and move. And you don't want to set up a big tent. You can't just establish yourself at a campground for any long period of time. Yeah, I do believe that the corner has made a difference for the good of the J6ers, for sure. And for the entire prison system, I believe, is what is going to eventually come out off of this. There are serious problems with our prison systems, not only the federal, but the state and the locals. We just had another prison escape in a Pennsylvania county prison here today. Another one. And we also have a deal going on with the state prisons are underreporting the amount of people that are dying in Pennsylvania prisons. I think 65 people have died last year in the prisons, but they only reported 45. So what's going on? And a couple of times they would release somebody who would die within a day, and that doesn't get reported. So I do believe that yesterday or last night, Somebody was beaten to death in this Philadelphia prison, and somebody escaped from the same Philadelphia prison. What I'm listening to earlier today is, if I understood it correctly. So here's the link to the Gateway Pundit article on Stormtrooper and David. It's a great article, man. Thank you, Gateway Pundit, for reporting, and for reporting on the J6 guys also. There's a prison in Wisconsin that has been on lockdown since June. Oh my goodness. I just called that prison 2 days ago about the lockdown that was a week old. So I think what's happening is the policies at all these bureaucracies, you can't hire people anymore. Nobody wants to put up with their bullshit. The pay is bad, the hours suck, the people suck, the rules suck. You got to get a shot. You got to wear a mask whenever they tell you. Nobody wants to work for these idiots anymore, and they can't find people. So now they're all undermanned, and they don't have enough people to run the prisons, man. So there is a major problem going on with our prisons, and J6 has brought a lot of light to that, man. Drifter Shelley, I got a guy here too, man. Same thing. Somebody shows up in his backyard. The guy who shows up in his backyard has got his girlfriend with him, and the guy doesn't shoot him. He sprays him with bear spray. The guy still wouldn't leave, so he started beating on the guy and ended up killing him somehow, and he's in jail. Because he was defending his property. He was defending his backyard. And those are serious injustices in our law court systems. There's a lot of that. You're not allowed to stand your ground in Pennsylvania, even in your own house, which is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. That is not what God says you're allowed to do. God says you can defend yourself. God tells you if you're a man, you must defend yourself. So we got laws in Pennsylvania that are ridiculous. And our people in Pennsylvania don't care. I called my state representative today and said, I still think the elections are rigged. And we just had proof of rigging on the last election in one of the races. And I didn't swear. I didn't start yelling. And the guy hung up on me. Literally hung up on me, man. And he was a Republican. We got serious troubles here in Pennsylvania, man. Serious troubles in Pennsylvania. All right, so getting into the news now. We got this whole Israel thing going on with Hamas, and then, the Hamas terrorists come in and slaughter 12 or 1,400 people in Israel. Israel retaliates, goes in and starts attacking Hamas, and the whole world jumps on Israel's case about it. So I don't know. There is a lot of baggage with Israel, okay? And I've been trying to get to the bottom of what is Israel, what's going on there. And here's another interesting story. FBI got carjacked in broad daylight, man. Oh, I didn't see that, small water guy. Yeah, just start digging, man. I seen that there. Never mind. I won't comment on that, man. I love it. Yeah, and then to defend yourself on something like that is tens of thousands of dollars. I'm sure. I hope I'm never in that predicament. But anyways, the whole thing in Israel is a distraction. Okay, who cares? Who cares what's going on? I mean, yeah, people are dying. One side is slaughtering the other. It's kind of like their fight, you know. It turns out we're funding both sides. If the government wasn't funding it, we could just send our money to Israel, or we could send our money to Hamas, whoever you felt like supporting. You could have GoFundMe governments, but no, our government comes in, steals our money, and funds the people who just went in and slaughtered people in Israel. And we're funding a ton of Israel's government also, and their intelligence failed miserably on October 7th. So why are we funding these buffoons who take 6 hours to respond to a slaughter? So I don't know what's going on there, all right? And really, who cares? Because we got a problem here. We're getting slaughtered here. We got 100,000 fentanyl deaths here. We got 1,200 people that have been incarcerated due to some production that happened at the Capitol on January 6th. Our issues are January 6 hostages is our problem. Israel and Hamas is not our problem. Corrupt FBI is our problem, not Israel and Hamas. The illegitimate presidency of FJB is our problem, okay? Not Ukraine and Vladimir, not Putin. That's not our problem, man, okay? And our government is funding both sides of, everything out there. In fact, I believe that they create these things, okay? They will never get solved as long as we allow our governments to continue to steal our money and do what they do with it, man. Yeah, Ukraine is not our problem, man. Elections is our problem. So we got our problems here. All these other things are distractions. And that is what they're created to be. And they are very effectively dividing us up as a nation. We got so many other problems in that. Our news isn't reporting the actual news. They're lying to us day after day after day, and we watch our relatives, our loved ones, sit down in front of that television and gulp it down another day, and gulp it down another day. They're just continually feeding from the poison well of the MSM, and it's sickening to watch. It's a mind virus. Elon Musk calls it a mind virus. He's clued in. He knows what's going on. In other news, national news, a Texas judge orders the FBI to disclose the Seth Rich laptops and all the information that went along with Seth Rich. You guys remember Seth Rich? Was back he worked for the DNC when Hillary was running. And during the primaries, Seth Rich was a big Bernie Sanders guy. And he found out that the DNC was just going to run out Bernie Sanders and probably pay him off behind the scenes. Bernie did go buy a mansion after he was all kicked out of that race. And Seth Rich took all that information and gave it to Julian Assange. And lo and behold, a couple days later, he's dead. And the news told us that he was robbed in D.C. and that he went to the hospital. But his wallet wasn't missing. His watch was still on his wrist. And then news came out, conspiracy theorist news, that he was alive when he went to the hospital. And he somehow died in the hospital. And he wasn't robbed. So now a Texas judge has finally ordered that the FBI release that information. That information is getting on 8 years old now, all right? And when we all heard that, we knew there was major corruption going on there. But the FBI has been covering for Hillary. And there's just no doubt about it that this FBI is corrupt at the top levels, thoroughly corrupt at the top levels. And why don't we do something about it? I mean, if you see a bee flying around, right? And you're like, oh, there's a bee. You don't even put your drink down. You just shoo it away, right? But if you got 50 million bees coming at you, you're going to have to move. You're going to have to do something. And there's 350 million of us in this country right now. So why this FBI continues to cover for these tyrants is beyond me. It's just laziness, man. Oh, yeah, what's this one, Sylvia? J6 defendant sues leftists for lying, editing and lying about evidence in the Trump CO election suit. So basically, Trump's getting charged down in Georgia. I think that's what this one's about. And they were saying how Trump called him up, said, "Can you find me 1,700 votes or whatever?" And then they just put out a statement that they found 3,600 fake ballots. It's over and over and over, people. And we're losing our country. Our dollar is being crashed. They are killing us literally by the day. The longer this takes to fix, the more dead patriots there's going to be, people. So a Texas judge wants to have Seth Rich information out within 14 days. And that was yesterday he put this out. So come December 12th, I want to see some Seth Rich stuff. And somebody's going to have to be reporting on it. Another thing that just perked my interest the other day, I heard that Gavin Newsom is going to debate Ron DeSantis. Now, I didn't even know Gavin Newsom said he was running for president, you know. Have you heard anything about him saying he wants to run for president? He has not made an announcement yet. In fact, the whole Democrat Party is just saying, FJB's our man, you know. He's the incumbent. He'll win by a landslide again. And now all of a sudden we got Ron DeSantis is going to interview or debate Gavin Newsom, man. And then the other day, Gavin Newsom visited the White House when apparently Joe and Kamala wasn't there. So what's going on behind the scenes with Gavin Newsom right now? I know Tucker Carlson doesn't think very highly of him. In fact, he thinks, you know, Tucker thinks Gavin Newsom is like evil incarnate. And Tucker knows a lot of things that we don't know. All right. That's awesome. Trennis Evans. Trennis Evans, J6 defendant, is suing the prosecutors in the Trump case for $7.2 million in the crowd. That's great, man. That is great. Is that debate tonight, KA? The Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis debate? Gruesome Newsom. Yeah, they've been saying he's going to run for president, but he hasn't made an announcement about it yet. He's debating with Ron DeSantis right now, as if he's running, and the mainstream media isn't like saying, "Isn't this weird?" They're just kind of rolling with it. They're letting it happen and rolling with it, man. All right, in case you don't have it, man, Freedom Express Media. He's not just a YouTube channel, man. He's on YouTube. He's in Getter. He's on True Social. He's got a website. He's got a lot of information that David puts out daily. The dude works like a maniac, as does 1791 Stormtrooper. I mean, they are just not just YouTube channels, man. Awesome Patriots. In addition to Glory B and Rebecca with We the People MAGA and all the other streamers that have been down to that corner. But those two in particular are just, they've taken it to the next level. They're awesome, awesome Patriots. All right, KA, tonight at 7 p.m. on Fox. Okay. Be looking for that. I'm sure we'll have some funny clips tomorrow in the morning off of that, if that's going on tonight. And then we also have all this other Trump static, you know. I mean, Trump is leading the polls by double digits, you know. He's up to 57%, even in hostile polls that have been taken. Why is Ron DeSantis and Vivek still running? Why is the Koch brothers, one of the biggest GOP donors, backing Nikki Haley? What is going on? All right. There are never Trumpers in the Republican Party, and that is inexcusable. Inexcusable. You don't fire your star quarterback after he wins a Super Bowl for you. That just doesn't, you don't do that. Here's Stormtroopers info. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Hannity either. And really, I can't stand Hannity. He has done so many times, he has just not reported on relevant stuff. His coverage of the Las Vegas shooting was horrible. You know, what happened in Las Vegas when supposedly 50-something people got shot? And at the same time, there were police reports all over Las Vegas of people getting shot with BB guns. I never saw... If there was 57 people shot at that Las Vegas thing, how come we never saw a photo of, you know, more than one body laying on the ground? Why didn't we see pools of blood all over the place? It didn't happen. That's why they were shooting people with BB guns. What happened with? I'll probably get myself in trouble. I'm going to stop right now, man. But it's over and over and over and over again. And if we had our shit together, we'd be already on this stuff. Because the same people were at the Boston Marathon bombing as we're at Las Vegas, as we're at this. I'm stopping there. I know what I know. All right, so there's this other guy that I'm hearing might be like put into the Republican running that isn't even on the radar right now, and his name is Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum is the North Dakota governor, and some people are saying that he's going to be a last-minute switcheroo on the Republican ticket, other than Donald Trump, all right? Doug Burgum is the guy who invented tracing on phones. He's a friend of Bill Gates, and he invented this application in order to find people that were in alumni from his university, okay? So for some reason, there's some people saying that Doug Burgum is going to come out of nowhere and somehow gain the ticket on the Republican Party. That the case would be that if Trump is disqualified from running, who's going to end up officially running on the GOP ticket? And there's a lot of other stuff going on too. RFK is running as an independent. RFK doesn't even have to go into any debates. He just says he's running, all right? That's going to peel votes. That's going to peel votes off of Trump. I think big time. I think Trump might have to make some kind of deal with him. I know RFK Jr. wants the CIA. He wants them bad. They murdered his father. They murdered his uncle. They murdered his cousin. He also wants Anthony Fauci, man. So I think RFK would probably step out of the race if he was given carte blanche to go after Fauci or the CIA. I think there might be some kind of a deal in the future. I'm just thinking out loud there. Let's see. Oh, and all right, so Rosalind Carter died. Distractions. We were talking about distractions earlier, okay? When famous people die, that's a good distraction for a day or two or three, you know? Rosalind Carter just died. Henry Kissinger just died. This is all within a week. Who's next? Put it in the chat. Who do you think is going to die next for a 1 or 2 day distraction? We all have our guesses, you know. It could, there's probably a lot of good answers. FJB, if they kill him off, that'd be a good distraction for at least a week, I'm pretty sure. You know, there would be an official funeral and a procession and eulogies. And yeah, Carter kind of looked like he was dead already, but I guess he's breathing. They did wheel him into Rosalind's funeral there. He's 100 years old. I don't know why the good Lord lets these people live so long. I really don't know why. They are not good people. Kissinger is the guy who put China on the map, basically, for one of our main enemies right now, China. Henry Kissinger activated China. I'll bet he made a lot of money there. Okay. I think the J6 narrative is falling apart. I mean, we got all this video now. We got all this corruption fingered right now. When do the trials start? When are we going to start seeing some trials here? Sooner or later, that's got to start happening. Sooner or later. And so far, nothing but talk out of the Republican Party. We got Clay Higgins talking a mean game, but so far, nothing but talk. We got Comer. He's going after the Biden family with the illegal banking moves and all that. So far, nothing but talk. And they subpoenaed Hunter Biden, okay? And Hunter Biden says, "Well, yeah, I'll come in and testify, but I want it to be public. I want it to be televised. I don't want my testimony to be behind closed doors, that is then transcripted, that is then potentially leaked to obscure the information that I'm about to testify." And Comer comes out and says, "Oh, you're just trying to change the rules, Hunter. No, we want you to come in and testify behind closed doors. We'll make a transcript, and then we'll decide if we do you publicly, if we interrogate you publicly." Now, what does that sound like to you, America? What does that sound like? That sounds like Comer doesn't want everyone to hear what Hunter's got to say from the get-go. If we're talking transparency, Hunter Biden should go in there and just speak publicly while they question him the first time he's in there. And I think Hunter's got something to say, to tell you the truth, and Comer is hiding it. So I hate to attack one of my own, but Comer, you sound like you're not sounding clean and transparent or anything right here. I don't understand it, man. And so far, Comer, you've been nothing but talk. For months now, you've been nothing but talk. You've been talking about dotting the I's and crossing the T's. All right, well, the FBI's on it, huh? FBI is on it. What was that, the 901st carjacking in the 60 square miles of Washington, D.C.? How about that, man? So yeah, Comer is accusing Hunter Biden of trying to play by his own rules. So we got a little power struggle going on between Hunter Biden and James Comer. And Comer is saying that the December 13th testimony will be behind closed doors. That's not what I want. That's not what, I'm a Republican. That's not what I want. I want to hear what Hunter's got to say. Finally, after we've been hearing about all his corruption for so freaking long. All right, and then the bombshell was Elon Musk in Israel. Did you guys see this? All right, a couple days ago, I don't know if you know who Dana White is, but Dana White he's a fighter. He runs the fight MMA. He's the guy that's in front of Trump when he comes into them stadiums and they're all cheering for him, and then they have the fights and stuff. He also owns a gym, and he said that one of his advertisers called him up. Dana White said this and said, "Hey, you got to take that off. You can't talk about that, or I'm going to stop sponsoring you with advertising money." And Dana White told him to go F yourself, okay? Well, Elon Musk was getting interviewed on a big stage with a lot of very, very important people in the room, and the subject got on the fact that Apple and Disney and Warner and IBM and Paramount and Lionsgate and Comcast all pulled advertising off of X lately, okay? Because it's a power struggle with them, man. That's right, Sunkist. I think Hunter just might tell everything. He might just be ready. And if he doesn't get to do it in one shot, they're gonna take care of him. They're gonna take him out without a doubt, because Hunter knows everything, I'll bet you. But anyways, Elon said, "You're trying to blackmail me with advertising money?" This is Elon Musk now. And he said, "Go F yourself." And then he knew that Bob Eisner was in the audience from Disney Company, and they had just pulled all theirs, and he goes, "Oh, hi, Bob." So right to his face, Elon said, "Go F yourself." I'm digging Elon Musk now, you know. And if all these companies, notice who they are: Apple, Disney, Warner, Paramount, Lionsgate. What do they make? Media, movies, everything we watch on our screens. That's who these people are. Why are they all in unison pulling all their advertising from Twitter? Because obviously they don't want Twitter around, or X around. So I thought that was a bombshell. I was really digging Elon. He's got the guts to say that right on stage, right to Bob Eisner's face. And I like what he's doing, man. This is another one of these things. If Elon never bought Twitter, where would we be? We had that whole the Twitter files thing where we found out the government was censoring stuff on Twitter, was censoring stuff on Facebook. And now we got this new CTIL leaker coming out. Schellenberger, I think the dude's name is. So there's a whole nother one coming out about how the government, our tax money, is being paid to social media companies to censor us. So I don't think that, we got to turn into 50 million bees like tomorrow, America. Otherwise, we're doomed. We're doomed. They're going to crash our dollar. You're not going to own anything, and you'll be happy eating bugs. Literally, because the World Economic Forum has already written books about what they're going to do, and they're doing it effectively, day by day, drip by drip. All right, Patriots, we went a little long here, even though, man, it was just all news. So, thanks for being with me tonight. I hope you all get on the phone calls, make some noise tomorrow. I don't know exactly who to call. I'd like to do a call to action to MAGA Mike Johnson, and let's get a new J6 commission going, and so we can listen to him talk more, I guess. But I think that would be a step in the right direction. I like what Mike Johnson's done so far with the month and a half that he's been in power. He's done way more than McCarthy's done in his 9 months in power there. And let's never forget what Thomas Jefferson told us, 250 years ago? When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. I'll leave you with that tonight. This is Jericho. Over and out.